also joining us this afternoon, Attorney J. Batong Bakal, Director po ng UP Institute for Maritime Affairs and the Law of the Sea. Sir, welcome back to Storycon and good to see you again. I'm sure you heard about Senator Marcoleta's statement yesterday, challenging, of course, among other people, you, Tariela, and
Yes.
Justice Antonio Carpio to a debate on the West Philippine Sea. Of course, we want to go into the details na ano ba talaga pinagtatalunan dito and ano yung mga nuancing. But before we get to that important portion, tanong ko muna sa inyo, would you want to go for it? Kasi si Justice
Payag ba
Carpio
kayo?
said, Justice Carpio said, go na eh.
Payag.
Well,
Payag siya.
immediate reaction ko is ano bang gusto niyang i-debate in the first place, no? Kasi if it's about the sovereignty, rights and entitlements of the Philippines, its jurisdictions in the West Philippine Sea, its rights to the Kalayaan Island Group, hindi yan subject of debate dapat, no? Lalo na siya, senador siya, no? These are all enshrined in our laws and in our constitution. He should know that. So sino siya para i-debate 'yon, di ba? So sabi ko nga, kung ganyan yung topic, that's not a matter for debate, no? Kung gusto niyang pag-usapan ibang bagay, no, at malinawan siya dun sa mga sinasabi niya na mali naman, ay yon, sige, pwede, pero hindi yan debate. Hindi yan, basta yung posisyon ng Pilipinas, hindi yan dapat sa subject matter of debate. Lalo na kung senador ka,
Sir,
dapat alam mo yon in the first place.
Yes, sir. Sir, if you don't call it a debate, if you call it a discussion.
A discussion is fine. I mean, we're always open to discussions naman, di ba? And we've been through several briefings, for example, sa ating Senate, lalo na nung ginagawa pa yung Maritime Zone Act at Archipelagic Sea Lane Act. No? So we did our job naman of briefing the senators when requested and enlightening them on questions that they ask. No? So okay lang yon.
Wala naman daw West Philippine Sea. Attorney.
Oo,
Anong sagot
kasama
niyo?
na doon. Pero yun nga, basta kung ang gusto niyang i-debate, kung tama siya na walang West Philippine Sea, na hindi yan kinikilala, or dapat nasa loob niyan yung mga isla. Pag yung ganon, hindi yung tamang matter for debate, no? Because those are matters that should be of record na, no? At siya bilang senador, he swore an oath to defend the Constitution and uphold all its laws, no? Comply with it basically. Lahat yan nasa batas na hindi lang sa domestic law kundi sa international law. So he's not one to question and put that matter up for debate.
Although, sir, there's an appeal made by Senator Ping Lacson to you and to Tony Carpio, and I'll quote, an earnest appeal to Justice Tony Carpio and Attorney J. Batong Bakal, let us spare our countrymen, especially our kababayans from Barangay Pag-asa, KIG, Palawan, from the agony of another pointless debate that might put into question their basic right of abode. Ayan, that you can see it on the screen.
Tama yun. Tamang punto yun. Kaya nga sinasabi ko rin, no? Anong didibatihin ba? Di ba? Lalo na kung the very existence of the Kalayaan Island Group, the validity of our people stay there, the validity of our jurisdictions in that area, di ba? According to international law, yung nga sinasabi ko, hindi yan dapat dinidebate.
Pero at this point, attorney, ang pinag-uusapan ngayon yung code of conduct eh. Kasi
Opo.
both sides are saying we should be moving forward while managing. Hindi naman sinasabing resolving the dispute, kundi managing. Along this line, anong nakikita niyo yung feasible? Kasi syempre hardline tayo, pati rin sila eh. Ano kaya yung doon? Yung managing, how best to manage this?
Well, in the first place, how best to manage these interactions at sea, syempre, is dapat balik tayo sa dati na kumbaga live and let live. Walang banggaan, walang water cannonan, walang laseran, di ba? Hindi natin ginagawa yun eh. No? At isa pa, walang ubusan ng lahi pagdating dun sa mga pangisdaan at mga bahura doon. Yun ang problema natin eh. If you will look at the records of all our negotiations with China mula pa noong 1990s nung talagang medyo umpisang uminit to. Malinaw na lagi ang problema ng Pilipinas sa China ay yung mga ginagawa ng kanilang mga isda na sinisira yung bahura, no? Binabawasan yung pangisdaan, no? At lalo na yung mga pagsira sa coral, no? malinaw yun, paulit-ulit yun na kinocomplain ng Philippine side. And yet yung kabila, walang nangyayari lagi. Kasi nga, hindi na tama yun. Supposedly, di ba, kung sincere kang makikipag-negotiate ng settlement in the future, kung sincere kang dapat maging maayos yung relationship yung dalawa dito sa isang area na in dispute, di ba, dapat you leave that in a way na talagang it continues to benefit both sides, di ba? Tayo nga yung mga inoccupy nating mga isla, hindi naman natin sila sinira, and in fact pinangangalagaan pa rin natin. Yung isang isla is a bird sanctuary, no? Yung iba still in their pristine condition, pati yung vegetation hindi natin talaga man lang dinevelop, no? Yung Pag-asa Island lamang ang talaga nakakita ng infrastructure development. Pero the rest talagang they're still more or less in the same condition as they were when we started there, no? Talagang masasabi natin na these were under stewardship, and kahit ba siya in the future kung sakaling malasin tayo na masabing hindi sa atin yan, ay mabibigay natin ng maayos yan. Hindi kagaya ng ginagawa nitong China na winawasak lahat ng bahura, no? Tinatayo nitong mga artificial island nila, no? At walang tinitira para sa iba, no? Lahat inaangkin nila at kinukuha nga nila, no? So itong code of conduct sana yun yung intention na ma-preserve mo ng status quo para maging mas maayos ang relationship ng mga claimants, no? Alam natin na tumatalab yan sa mga Southeast Asian countries kasi kahit sa Malaysia at Vietnam and Brunei, kahit tayo may mga disputes against each other, maayos naman yung relasyon natin pagdating dyan sa West Philippine Sea. Itong China lang yung talagang laging problema, hindi lang natin kundi ng iba ring claimants katulad ng Vietnam at pati na nga Indonesia nasasali tuloy. So,
Pero may mga concern ngayon na kapag na-finalize yung Code of Conduct, which might happen this year dahil nag-host tayo ng ASEAN, it might legitimize daw the status quo nga na yan na nga, legitimize the occupation, the artificial island building of China. Valid ba
Opo.
yung observation na yan?
Valid yon yung concern na yon, no? And I'm sure binabantayan din yan, no? Nung sa mga tao natin sa DFA na nagni-negotiate nga dun sa Code of Conduct. Alam nila yan dahil may mga kausap na ako sa kanila, and ano naman, nakikinig naman sila pag nire-raise yung mga concerns katulad yan. Ang binabantayan talaga natin ay hindi maging excuse nga itong Code of Conduct para hindi lang ma-legitimize yung China, kundi maging excuse siya para parang i-exclude itong buong area na to ng West Philippine Sea at South China Sea from the rest of international law, no?
Yeah.
Maging tinatawag na regional international law yan because of this agreement. Definitely binabantayan po yan.
Kasi halimbawa yung Panganiban Reef, it's specifically mentioned dun sa arbitral ruling that we have
Opo.
sovereign rights over it.
Opo.
Pero naggawa na sila dun ng artificial island, it's a reef.
Yes.
Pero ngayong may artificial island dyan, ano na yung definition yan?
Well,
Diba?
artificial
At saka
island
hindi
pa
na
rin
natin
siya.
sila
Wala pa rin
mapapalis.
entitlement.
Wala pong change sa kanyang legal status. Yun ay malinaw. At hindi talaga tayo papayag na ma-recognize siya bilang isang full-fledged island, no? Na may territorial sea. Artificial siya, therefore, ang entitlement lang niya at most, kung meron man, ay isang safety zone, but even then, hindi natin tatanggapin na napunta yan sa kanila. Ganun po yung magiging position natin dyan.
Pero sir, one of the concerns...
develop na siya
Oo nga eh.
Develop na siya meron ng barracks doon. I think
Opo.
they already have a dock, no? May port na sila doon for their
Opo.
naval vessels. Kompleto na siya
It is a full-blown military base. Air and naval base. Yun po ang reality. Kaya nga sa ngayon, hindi naman natin masosolve lahat ng issue at problema sa isang iglap, no? Pero at least ang gusto natin ngayon ay talagang hindi magkaroon ng legitimacy yung ginawa nila dyan at nung status ng isla na yan.
Yes, sir. But sir, to that point nga the concern with any future agreement is that it is prospective, not retrospective. In other words, a code of conduct will probably define what else can be done in the area, but will probably not touch anymore on what had been done.
Kaya nga.
Kasi can you really expect ASEAN to agree to a code of conduct where it says na, hindi, umalis kayo dyan.
Opo, opo.
So that will be our biggest conundrum na there's a huge chance na any code of conduct will only be prospective and not retroactive, in which case, kumbaga, kung ano nandyan na.
Opo, opo. Totoo po yun. At kasama nga po yan dun sa challenge ng ano bang pag-uusapan at anong pagkakasunduan natin dito sa Code of Conduct na ito. Yung mga ganyang bagay na malamang nga hindi na talaga maremedyohan, no? Maaring ang yung fear or yung concern nga na ma-legitimize siya, no? Pero at least on our part, hindi natin papayagan yon na maging legal or yung tawag natin de jure yan. De facto lang yan. Nandyan nga siya, it's only because it's a reality na at this point, hindi natin siya matungkab, hindi natin siya matatanggal. Pero hindi yan magiging legal ever, no? As far as we are concerned. In the meantime, ang pinaka-objective ngayon nung Code of Conduct ay ma-regulate yung future interactions ng mga claimants at magkaroon sana ng mekanismo para ma-address, no, kung sakaling mayroong hindi magandang interaction, ma-address agad yon para hindi siya mag-escalate, para hindi siya lalong lumala. No? So parang yun na yung best case scenario natin dyan sa Code of Conduct na yan.
Yes, sir. Sir, the other controversial thing is what Senator Marcoleta said nung commission appointments hearing nung Wednesday. And I'll quote it na lang para we're not taken out of context. This is about the Kalayaan Island Group or KIG. Ano ba talaga pagpapatayan natin? We will offer our lives and the lives of our children to die for it, for something that is not even within our EEZ. Ang gawin natin po para madali, i-give up natin ang KIG. That's the direct quote. Although later on, Marcoleta would say na the context of his statement was abbreviated. In other words, I suppose he's trying to say na he was taken out of context. But how do you respond to that, to that statement?
Magdebate silang dalawa. Yung Marcoleta nung Monday, Marcoleta nung Wednesday. Sila na lang magdebate. Sa akin, malinaw naman anong out of context doon. Sinabi niya, it's one complete sentence, kumbaga. There is a subject, there's a predicate.
Oo nga.
Wala ko nakikitang out of context doon sa sinabi niya. No? Ang nakikita kong out of context is, sinabi niya yon doon sa Commission on Appointments sa hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Yun ang wala sa lugar. Pero kasalanan na niya yon, no? Pero malinaw, parang ang implication niya, komo yung malayo yung lugar, hindi dapat natin panindigan at ipaglaban, no? At komo yung lugar ay nasa labas daw ng EEZ, ipamigay na, parang yun nga, i-give up na lang natin. Walang connection yun no? Yung ating interest dun sa isla, yung karapatan at soberenya natin dun sa isla ay dahil nandun tayo. Hindi dahil nasa loob siya ng EEZ. No? Walang relasyon yun. Kaya hindi yun valid reason. Kaya yun nga, nagugulat din at medyo yun nga, naiinis din ako na anong klaseng dahilan yan. No?
It's by dint of effective control, not because of inclusion the EEZ. I'm talking about Pag-asa Island because it is not in our EEZ nga naman.
Opo.
Sir, well, I think that's the other thing that gets confusing for some people. Kasi Kalayaan Island Group or KIG, it's a part of it is in our EEZ. But a part of it is not. Like for example nga yung Pag-asa Island, nasa labas na yun ng ating EEZ. So iba yung I suppose iba yung ating ang ating claim for certain areas for different reasons. Like for example, Pag-asa because of effective control since 1971. The others because they're in our EEZ, I suppose, or because we also have effective control.
Hindi po. Una, basta lupa, gaya ng isla, bato, it is by virtue of effective control and occupation. preceded by whatever history, etc. Basta ang importante, we have been exercising sovereignty, full and effective sovereignty over that area, yung land area na yon, for a long time. Yun ang evidence mo that this place is under your sovereignty, no? That you can exercise all the rights of a sovereign over that area. The fact na ginawa natin siyang munisipyo, no? At may mga taong nakatira doon, mga civilian, yan ay pruweba
May
na
election.
under our effective sovereignty talaga yung area na yan. Iba yan dun sa karapatan natin sa katubigan sa paligid niya.
Yan ang EEZ.
Dahil para doon, EEZ, Territorial Sea, ang nagdidetermine nun ay yung UNCLOS. So, it's a separate body of the law. It's the law of the sea.
Yes, sir.
Hindi law of the land. Law of the sea. Magkahiwalay talaga yan. At ayon sa UNCLOS, nga, kung meron kang sovereignty sa isang piece of land na may karagatan sa paligid, then pwede kang magkaroon ng territorial sea una. Yan, kakabit talaga yan nung fact of sovereignty over the land. Tapos pwede ka rin magkaroon ng exclusive economic zone, continental shelf, contiguous zone. Depende ngayon doon sa situation.
Kung ikaw ay island or rock. Yeah.
Oo, so hiwalay yun. No? Kaya hindi mo dapat sinasabi na kung nasa labas ng EEZ yung isla, hindi na sa atin yan o hindi na dapat natin claim yan o dapat i-give up na lang natin yan. Hindi yun konektado eh. Hindi yun ang tamang rason, no?
Sir, ako, last question lang. Then baka si Ami may pahabol. Of course, you talked about effective control, effective occupation, and that's what we have with the features that we already occupy there. Can China say the same thing about, for example, yung mga artificial islands niya doon sa West Philippine Sea area, doon sa ating EEZ?
Yung artificial islands, hindi. Kasi in the first place, it is not an island. No? It is not land territory that can be the subject of appropriation and effective control and occupation. Yung Mischief Reef, particularly, ang finding dyan is it was part of the sea. Wala talagang isla, wala man lang
Reef.
bato yan.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Kaya hindi pwedeng i-claim ngayon na ineffectively occupy and control mo yan as if it were land territory. Okay? Kailangan meron silang high tide elevation o kaya meron silang islang hawak talaga para masabi nilang they effectively controlled it. Pero para dyan, ang posisyon naman ng Pilipinas ay hindi yan sa inyo kasi bago kayo dumating dyan para mag-occupy at control, nandun na kami. No? So, yun yung pwedeng pagtalunan o pag-usapan sa isang korte o kaya sa isang negotiation. Parte yan ng mga arguments na pwede nyong pagpalitan para magkaroon kayo ng settlement.
Okay. Ami?
Ako, pahabol ko lang, yung Coast Guard patrol ba is innocent passage?
Well, depende po yan kung nasaan. Kasi ang innocent passage, pwede lang yan i-claim kung nasa loob ka ng territorial sea. That is a right.
Outside the territorial sea.
Outside the territorial sea, freedom of navigation po ang applicable.
Kasi yun sinasabi ng China eh. Reklamo daw tayong reklamo pag dumadaan sila doon sa outside our territorial sea, which is 12 nautical miles. Pero sabi nila they're just exercising innocent passage.
Right? In the first place, hindi innocent passage dapat ang kiniklaim nila. No? Pangalawa, kasi naman, alam natin na kaya sila naglalayag dyan, hindi para lamang dumaan, no? Kundi para mag-exercise ng jurisdiction. No?
Yun ang
Yun ang
tinatanong ko, it's a patrol.
Opo, it's a patrol.
So,
At pag
innocent
merong
passage
lumapat
ba
sa
yun?
kanila, sinasabi nila yun eh. Na these waters are under Chinese jurisdiction. No? So, yun ang ating tinutulog sa doon.
Okay. Sige.
Okay.
Di bali sana kung nagdadaan lang silang tahimik eh. Pero ito talagang patrol at
Pinabomba tayo.
naharang pa eh.
So, innocent passage is only used when you are passing through territorial waters in 12 nautical miles of another country.
Outside.
Opo.
If it's within the
Outside.
EEZ of another country, that's freedom of navigation pa.
Freedom of navigation po. So,
Freedom of
sige,
navigation.
magdaan ka lang. Basta nagdadaan ka lang.
Basta lang hindi ka mag-exploit dahil hindi
Opo.
naman yung EEZ.
You have to respect the easy rights of the country kasi. No? So, yun, pwede yun.
Hindi kailangan mag-alert dun sa country.
Hindi sana, no? Kasi kung yun na, again, that's now a matter of trust and confidence between the two countries involved, no? hindi natin pinoproblema yung ibang bansa kasi nga hindi naman nila kiniklaim yung area na yan, no? Kung meron man na tayong binabantayan, syempre pag nagkakaroon tayo ng mga reports na baka yung barko na yon ay engaged in illegal activity like smuggling, ganon, then pwede mo siyang i-surveillance, bantayan mo siya na hindi siya pumasok sa loob ng territorial sea mo. O kaya,
Or
kung
poaching.
merong international na effort, maari siguro, no, na i-challenge mo, bantayan mo hanggang talagang lumaya, pwedeng ganon, no?
Okay. Okay, maraming salamat for joining us this afternoon. Attorney J. Batong Bakal, Director po ng
Welcome po.
UP Institute for Maritime Affairs and the Law of the Sea. Sir, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you,
Welcome, Ed
Attorney.
and Amy. And good to see you again. Lahat po ng mga nanonood.
Thank you, sir.
Magandang gabi po.